Hi, Mahad. Let's see how you did on your second writing. Unfortunately, the writing is not so clear. Well, it's not your writing, it's, I think, the picture that you took, but I'll give you the best feedback I can. Um, okay, first of all, the title's good, but don't use brackets around, or sorry, the quotation marks around the title. You don't need that. Okay, working as a visiting nurse works the effort of handling. I think if you have works here, I can't see what else it would be. The effort of handling tough responsibility. Okay, I'm not sure what that means exactly. Okay, as you know, uh, some of these duties is to distinguish between widespread diseases. Geez, it's really hard to read. Um, with most resembling signs and symptoms. Okay, it's definitely some grammar mistakes here. Maybe it's just the writing, or I can't see it. But anyways, okay. So you've introduced the idea that they're the task, right? Because you're distinguishing between these diseases, and you're saying, as you know, okay, that's good. In this article, a differential diagnosis between measles, chickenpox, and scarlet fever using the rash. Okay, so this is an incomplete sentence, right? In this article, a differential diagnosis between measles, chickenpox, and scarlet fever with the rash and what? Yeah, what are we going to do there? You're going to teach them how to differentiate them. So in this article, uh, you will learn how to differential diagnose between blah, blah, blah using the rash. Okay, so that's what you should have said, but I get your idea. Okay, from your experience, you are aware that all these diseases are marked by a rash. However, the rash is slightly different between them. Okay, good. So that's good introduction. Measles rash emerges at 3 to 4 days after the sign of the rash. It looks like red spots at first, then turns into Kopik spots. Good. The small white spots. Um, it spreads from the forehead down to the posterior. Okay. Now, I've noticed something already. The problem is here you're talking about measles, and you're just talking about measles all the way through up until I can't even see. Okay, down here maybe where you talk about scarlet fever. Oh no, here you talk about chickenpox. Okay, so what you should have done is compared and contrasted. So measles rash emerged after 3 to 4 days, whereas chickenpox emerges after whatever. Yeah. So that's the problem here. Okay, so you're explaining one, and then you're explaining the other, and that's the same as the article, and you shouldn't do that. Okay, but anyways, let's see how you did it. Okay, I think we stopped here. The small white spots. It spreads from the forehead to the posterior side of the ears, cervix, trunk, arms, and lower extremities. Devastating the said that rash may reach the patient's face. On the other hand, chickenpox rash has another sequence. It first appears as pink red tiny spots with on the scalp and trunk. Subsequently, the spots become puffy and develop to brittle blisters surrounded by redness. Okay, Butler's pad disappear after 7. I can't see the second one. I'll assume that's correct. Of getting the treatment. Okay, it's not getting treatment. It's how long the rash appears. Okay, lesions may affect internal organs. Okay, so this is not the differential diagnosis. You would lose a mark for talking about this, to be honest. Okay, because you're talking about the internal organs. This has nothing to do with it. On the palms and the soles, extremities, that's good, but this part is definitely a no-go because you're talking about differential diagnosis. Okay. In contrast, scarlet fever can be seen as along. Okay, so this is a little clearer, thank God. Neck and to the trunk, followed by the arms and legs. It's characterized by 1 to 2 millimeter red swollen spots that gradually reach. I'm not sure what that word is. Axillary? I'm not sure. And folds of the elbow. Rash remains for 4 to 5 days before resting. I'm not sure what that is. Before crusting. Anyways, measles rash isn't often itchy compared to the intermittent itch of chickenpox and the severe itching of scarlet fever. The removal of scarlet fever? I can't remember. As a visiting nurse, you may consider rash for differential diagnosis. Okay. Okay, so you have a pretty good conclusion, much better. You've done the task well because you're explaining it to the nurses. That's great. But the order of the information, having some of your writing, I can't exactly see. Please, when you take a picture, make sure it's nice and clear. And yeah, the conclusion could be better. Yeah, you should highlight the areas that are really different. Yeah. So, for example, where the rash begins and where it proceeds from, all the differential diagnosis things. So you may want to, say, for example, as a visiting nurse and when you're trying to make a differential diagnosis, examine where the rash starts. So you know that now that if it starts on the neck, it's such and such. If it starts on the torso, it's this. If it's in the creases of the arm, then it could be this or this. These are the sort of things you want to highlight in the conclusion, okay? But much better job than the first job, and we just need to work on the picture taking now, okay? So good job.